We're getting to Bilbao. Nothing more to say.
Let's just hope that this mentality that the guys have for Glasgow carries into the Scotland camp. Finn Russell's doing. Welcome back to the pod. This week we're going to be going over the reaction to the Glasgow and Edinburgh games from the final round of the group stage of the Champions Cup and our reaction to the Scotland squad.
Scotland squad.
40-man squad.
I think they just made it 40 men, so Doohan and Dermerva could get into it.
In the squad. I just don't. Listen, Doohan has created and won us some of the biggest games Scotland's ever won, but he's not in form, man. He doesn't have a place in the squad anymore, and I love Doohan, but he's not. His form's not there right now. So, but listen, I don't think he'll get a game, because if he's not starting, he's not playing, because you can't have Doohan on the bench. So, and he's not going to be starting.
Doohan will not start.
Nah.
Doohan is. I think the game's gone beyond Doohan now. He needs space, but the wingers now, you look at Kyle Rowe, like they're creating opportunities themselves, they're distributors, and Doohan was saying like the last season that everyone's getting outside him now because he's getting all these try assists. I'm like, mate, you can hardly pass the ball, man.
I know.
You can't kick, your kicking's awful, you can't do anything under high ball. And Sione Tuipulotu's words, not mine, is that he's a terrible rugby player, but he can just do things that no one else in the team can do. And it's true.
Aye.
But I mean, I think Doohan's body language the last month has been shocking. And he just, heart isn't in it. He takes big hits. He's not a killer on the field. He's too self-reflective and emotional about it, which is fine.
Again,
but not at the elite level. The elite level, you need to be a savage.
Against Gloucester, when he got that disallowed try, after he got that disallowed try, after his try was scratched off, that was him head down. Harry hot take.
Well, your hot take, everyone is now saying,
I know,
Dobie, Steno.
I called that.
You called that.
I called that
weeks ago.
Weeks ago, man.
So fair play. You're a trendsetter.
There's a guy on the squad, Dave Cherry. Who's that?
Fuck. How the fuck is Dave Cherry on that team?
He's played Div 2 in France and getting picked for Scotland. I just think that Hiddleston should have been picked 100%.
You've got Gregor Hiddleston. I genuinely think Seb Stevens is going to be there or thereabouts soon. But you've got Gregor Hiddleston, who's starting for Glasgow, who's on phenomenal form right now, and you pick Dave Cherry.
Gregor Hiddleston is the on-form hooker for the best team in Scotland.
Arguably, well, we can say Europe. They finished a perfect European
squad. You'd expect him to get in a 40-man squad.
Wild,
you know?
Because, you know, and all that, listen, I get why you all love Johnny Matthews, but Gregor Hiddleston's better than Johnny Matthews. And do I think that Gregor Hiddleston would be in the 23? No, I still think it's Ashman, Turner starting. Ashman, Turner on the bench.
Agreed.
But I think Hiddleston would be pushing it close.
Yeah.
He throws his lineouts well. He's aggressive. His tackle count is high. He's also just got a winning mentality. So it's like, let's get the fresh guys through. Why are you picking him?
I know. It's typical Townsend, playing it safe, not taking the risk, and I really hope that doesn't translate to what we see on the pitch.
Yeah.
Great. Cam Redpath.
It's a hard one for Cam because there's just too many guys ahead of him. Centre's just such a stacked division there, because it's like, right, who would you rather at 12, Cam Redpath or TJ?
Because you can bring Tom Jordan. Tom Jordan's going to probably be on the bench for all Six Nation matches, because he can cover three positions. Between him and Dobie,
every backline.
Kyle Rowe as well, can cover the backline.
It's just that you need that scrum half specialist. So Dobie's there, and then maybe it's between Kyle Rowe and TJ. Honestly, Kyle Rowe could start and Blair Kinghorn is on the bench.
Potentially, because then Kinghorn can cover
wings and
fullback and 10 if need be.
So then does that make an argument that it's going to be Kinghorn and
TJ? But then TJ and Kinghorn are very similar players in the sense of the positions they could. No, TJ is obviously a better player.
Yeah.
But
hot take.
Come on, that's not even a hot take. Of the positions they can cover.
Aye.
So we'll see. Another one, Cam Henderson not getting in.
That's a shame. I think again second row is stacked, and I can see it being Gregor Brown and Scott Cummins are going to be the starting second row.
That's a solid starting second.
Unbelievable.
That's the best second row starting pair in 10 years maybe for Scotland.
I think
you obviously had the reign of the Greys and Gilchrist coming in and stuff like that, but Scott Cummins and Gregor Brown, they're just the physicality these guys offer on the ball and defensively is next to nothing.
They're on form.
Yeah.
Like Gregor Brown is like having another back rower playing. He's a line out option. I just think it makes sense of having him at second row.
Aye.
And then the full back row is going to be Glasgow back row.
Aye.
I'm surprised that Andy Christie was papped down to Scotland A, Cam Redpath, Scotland A, Harry Morris, Scotland A, Cam Henderson, Scotland A. So all these boys are going to be in and about the squad. But if you're Gregor Hiddleston is also Scotland A, but if you're Cam Redpath or Cam Henderson and you get papped down Scotland A, you're probably like, I'd fucking rather not that phone call.
Dan Lancaster.
Dan Lancaster's there,
Scotland,
playing well for Glasgow though, so he's playing well with it.
No Blythe Lafferty's. They're all the Blythe Lafferty's. They're also in Scotland A. They've none of them in the.
But they're so young.
Aye.
It's a probably good place for
it's
them
actually probably a good thing because, like, see, imagine blooding 19 and 20-year-olds at that position at this age. They won't be playing rugby in 5 years if they're going into Six Nations Test rugby now. You know, so it's maybe a good thing.
But I think it's always interesting to see who's made it, who's not. There's going to be injuries. Players are going to get called up. Players are going to get drop out. So, you know, it's not to say, but it looks like the Scotland A boys are going to be there, the ones that are going to get called up to the squad if there's injuries. So Gregor Hiddleston could still get there, I reckon. Mm-hmm. Same with Cam Redpath. But you think, Cam Henderson, but you think of Cam Redpath, that centre positions are just so stacked.
Nah, it's too many. You got McDowell, who's probably not going to be on the bench. Which is crazy. Probably not going to get a game, but he's in that squad to cover injuries. Something would have to go seriously wrong for Cam Redpath to get called up. Which just shows how blessed we are at centre. Because see, if you saw the back lineup, was Finn, TJ, McDowell, you'd be like, cool. Aye. You wouldn't be like, oh, that's a terrible. Yeah. That's not great. You'd be like, that's alright. Yeah, we could run that. So you know, it's not the end of the world. All in all, there's not too many contentious points. It's probably as expected. Tooney going probably a wee bit safe, going with who he knows and trusts. You know, Gilchrist coming in and stuff like that. But we'll see what he does in the match day 23. Who's starting, and he's probably got some big calls and some pressure on him to pick informed players. He has to pick informed players if we're going to do anything in this competition. He cannot go with the tried and tested players that aren't in form right now. He needs to take a risk and take a few of the boys that are tearing it up right now, who are, listen, a few people have commented on a few of our videos telling us Dobie can't prove himself, it hasn't proved himself at test level, you know, blah blah blah. It's like he's playing at such a high level for club. Glasgow. It's like he's proved that he can play test rugby. Put him on the wing. He's got it. He will prove it. He's the type. Dobie's the type of player that will step up to the plate. He's not the type of guy to shy away from it. Scotland fans can be so fucking negative sometimes with our prospects around how well we can do in the Six Nations stuff. I think that the run of results that we've had for Glasgow, even Edinburgh, they've qualified. Some positivity around it. We've got some really good informed players right now. Let's have confidence and faith in our players that we can go out and do something in the Six Nations. Not just this, we've got a decent team, let's go see what they can do. Like, actually, we can go and have a killer winning mentality and do some damage in this Six. I think when Scottish fans, the ones that are there, it's like, oh, just happy to be there and show up and go away. I hate that because I want the teams to win. And I don't know whether this is just us as fans. It's probably why when Scotland, we'll see this when it happens, when we start doing the Scotland videos, it fucking ruins my week when Scotland lose. So we expect it because we see it in the domestic game with Glasgow. We see what these boys are capable of. And it is so frustrating
when that doesn't translate through to Six Nations performances.
Let's just hope that this mentality that the guys have for Glasgow carries into the Scotland camp. Finn Russell's doing damage down in Bath. You've even got Kinghorn in Toulouse. Let's just hope this carries into the Six Nations and we'd make a mark this year.
And if it doesn't, there's got to be serious questions asked.
But one thing I'll say is, see if we go out there and we play your France and we play your England, and you see that the guys have put everything on the line, they've put their body on the line in that match, and we still lose, you're like, fair enough. What I hate is the head down mentality, and it's just accepting, oh, they're a bigger country, they're a bigger union. Nah, fuck that. Well, we can win this.
Ireland are the same size as countries as Wales. Yes, they have bigger playing numbers, it's a bigger sport, but it's 23 people in the park. We have two teams that there's a massive bottleneck coming through. We have got the talent, so we should be competing in these games.
That's a good point. You know, see, when it's 23 players that start, right? And on that team sheet, there's 23 players. You're right, it is a bottleneck. You know, loads of, in England, for example, you've got probably 4 or 5 players, equal talent at fullback. In Scotland, you might have 1 or 2. For example, they're still the same guys going out there and playing, and it comes, a lot of it's in the mentality.
I want to see that ruthless edge with Scotland, and Glasgow do it, and that's why I fucking love being a Glasgow fan, is because, you know, Toulouse 21-0 down, when they got that first try, I'm like, oh, we might win this game, and then we fucking went and won it. So that Glasgow, Scotland would never do that, because they just don't have that ruthless edge, and I just hope now, like, that gets fed through from how the Glasgow boys are performing, how Ben White, Finn Russell, Kinghorn are playing, that gets brought into the squad and something happens here.
Let's get rid of that reputation as the plucky losers and let's become winners.
Let's do it.
Glasgow. Anyway, what was your thought? You were at the game.
I was at the game.
You were there.
Made a video. Everyone that watched, thank you.
Yeah. Best one, I would say.
The numbers say that as well.
Yeah.
I thought... Unbelievable. Genuinely, there's something special happening here with Glasgow, and I've not had this, even when we won the league, this feels even different again.
It's the best Scottish domestic team we've ever had, including when the Finn and Hoggy era. This team, the depth, the players on it, the mentality, they're just showing up. We've been saying this for months, since the start of the season. We started with a hiccup, but since then we've just got better and better. Especially we've lost a few players.
So think about how important that is, that this year we're more depleted than last year, with Henko Venter, Canzonieri leaving, TJ leaving, and I would say we're doing better this year than we did last year. We just look like a real amazing outfit right now, and with Hugh Jones leaving now, Adam Hastings leaving, I just seriously hope that we replenish the players.
We need to get... You either give Dan Lancaster the reins and say you're the first choice and we get him a decent number 2, or we go all out and try and sign a Fergus Burke, or we also need someone for the back 3. We're pretty light on the wings now, and we could do with another fullback potentially.
Winger. I think Scottish rugby are using Glasgow and Edinburgh as development teams for the national side, and I think
make money off them.
That needs to go. When I think we need to now invest in this squad and stop seeing them as development sides, because actually, if these teams, Glasgow, I genuinely think can create a dynasty here of a solid team in Europe that can get to a final. Our path to the final now is achievable. Like, looking at it on paper, you are like, we can do that. We'll take the Bills at home. I genuinely believe we will take the Stormers or Toulon at home. And then the semi-finals against Leinster, if Leinster get there, Harlequins will have something to say about that, I'm sure, on their side, once they beat Sale. I think we'll get to the final, which I've been looking at flights, by the way. It's achievable for us.
We are going.
We are going. So we've got the chance here, and Franco's doing this with a squad that is nothing like his English counterparts or French counterparts. So we've got a real chance here, and I just hope Scottish Rugby now and the SRU say, let's just give Franco what he wants. Let's go all in with this guy. He's going to be the next national coach. He knows what he's talking about. So if he's saying, let's get in a foreign player for 10 fullback winger, let's get him in. Let's just get him in. Franco's saying it doesn't stunt development, and I think he's right. So let's just get a top quality operator in that's able to play these positions.
Agreed.
And if you create a squad like Glasgow are right now, then surely people are going to start showing up to the games. Like, this semi-final, if we get to the semi-finals, that's going to be probably the biggest game Glasgow have ever played in. Arguably. Bigger than the final. Because it's going to be in Scotland, and we've got the chance to get to the final of the Champions Cup.
Some of the things that happened in the match, that was never a yellow card on Kyle Rowe.
No,
I think even Goody on comms straight away pinged it and was like, that is soft. The referee used the term high degree of danger. There was no high degree of danger.
So I was at the game, so it didn't get... Sometimes the best seat in the house is at home.
At home, yeah.
That's the best seat. You see everything. So it looked like Kyle Rowe got bumped off. So how is there a high degree of danger when Kyle Rose went back 5 metres?
It looks like Steno's hit him. Kyle Rowe, with the impact that Steno's hit him with, his head's then flung into Kyle Rowe's head or shoulder. And it's like, Kyle Rowe it was covering tackle.
Aye.
But got the yellow card.
Can we just also say on that point that Steno melted him before
smashed him.
The yellow even came in? Steno's defensive read, sometimes he's getting better at
He's so on form. This is the Steno just has gotten better and better over the season. He is like in the form of his life right now. Bolt on wing starter for Scotland, and the way that Glasgow managed that yellow card again. That's 2 games in a row. Yellow card down to 14 men, no points shipped.
And you have to give a shout out to Scott Forrest.
Aye.
So there was obviously, when Peter Murchie moved on, everyone's worried about what the defence would look like, but I would say it's getting better this year.
It's better. It is looking better.
They just soak up so well, and the defensive read the boys are like when I was in the East Stand, and when Saracens were attacking, at no point were you like, they're going to score here. You just have faith in those boys, their mentality, their willingness to defend it. They're not going to score.
George Horn's 150th cap for Glasgow, scoring, getting a try in such a George Horn way as well. That supporting line that he runs, that was great to see. And then,
well, first of all, with that try, you've got to give Jack Dempsey the credit, because
he is such... How good is Jack Dempsey?
So we need to keep him. So this is where they need to put their hands in the pockets and pay these players, because Jack Dempsey is going to... they're going to want him gone. And it goes back to what we were saying earlier. If Leinster can keep all their top players, we need to. Because there's no point of us building this team that we've got right now for them to be gone in 2 years' time.
Aye.
So we need to keep players like Jack Dempsey.
Yeah. He'll be really sought after in a French system as well.
Yeah.
So
they like that. The French like that style of number.
Aye. So and that's the problem. But
his footwork to break that tackle, 2 tackles to then free up, his pace to get away from the tackles, and then give it to George Horn was
we're just
brilliant.
Genuine contenders now, and it's nice sitting here in this position as a Scottish and a Glasgow fan, being like, we are genuine title contenders here.
I kind of don't want the Six Nations to happen right now.
I know, I feel like in such a Glasgow bubble that momentum hopefully is not going to get lost when we come back from the Six Nations. I just don't want Scotland to have a mediocre Six Nations. Gets in these guys' head. They've been in such a good place the last few months under Franco that Six Nations happen, they have bad run of results, and then they come back and that kind of negative mentality. I don't want that to be happening. The culture within the team right now is awesome, because you look at, I watched George Horn's acceptance of getting the wee presentation from Kyle Stein, in the changing room. There's so much emotion in that changing room, and they are fighting for each other. The only thing that I think is going to be good, and we'll come on to the Scotland squad, is it's a lot of Glasgow boys. Aye.
So is promising that they're not going to go away and be in a terrible system and going to slump. Like, hopefully they go away, they have a decent Six Nations, and we come back, because it's start of April this last 16, so it's straight after the Six Nations finish. So hopefully they come back with Franco.
It's crazy how much high pressure games these guys are putting their body over under from January to end of May. It's absolutely mental.
They're at it now, and this is where Franco will need to work his magic for a rotation of these boys.
We have the depth to be able to put out teams in the next few weeks that gives the guys a rest before the Six Nations. But anyway, to summarise, great performance by Glasgow, and really excited to see where they go going forward in this competition.
We're getting to Bilbao. Nothing more to say in it. I've already looked at flights to Madrid and driving from Madrid to Bilbao, so we're fucking going.
We'll see you. Thoughts on the Edinburgh game?
Well, it was a great start to Sean Everett's contract extension. Wild. Absolutely. I mean, to me that just shows the SRU's mentality, because the same was there with Gregor, giving Gregor the extension. So they clearly accept mediocrity. That just obviously is happening. Everett has had that team now for years and has not done anything with them. And he's been given that contract extension on the back of no real results, and then he's went down to Bath and been absolutely hammered. So it makes me think, who in the SRU is doing this? We thought that David Nusafora was going to be this hard-ass, strict performance director, and he's going to come in and change the landscape of the Scottish game. It's clearly not happened, because David Nusafora clearly accepts mediocrity.
It is quite ironic that Everett gets a 2-year extension and then gets absolutely pumped off a Bath. Does that not just sum up his tenure as coach?
It just does. It's just, being an Edinburgh fan, we sympathise with you, because it must be an absolute fucking nightmare.
They can't win them. They must want to see change. Like, they must want a new coach at this point. Yeah. So, what do you think's the main issues around what he's doing? Like, maybe we'll start quickly touching on the Everett contract extension. We'll actually get into the bones of the game against Bath. But what do you think's the main issues with Everett as the manager?
For me, it's like the mentality. He's only got the certain players to work with there. And what I would say is, when they've got a lot of injuries, and they clearly did going down to Bath as well, but they also had a lot of, I think they had 9 internationals on the team, 1 English international, Piers O'Connor, playing. So it's not as if they're going down there with an inexperienced squad. But I think Edinburgh is just mentality.
Do you not think that even if you replaced Everett with another coach, that new coach is going to have to deal with something systemic in Edinburgh rugby organisation?
But how do you change that? Edinburgh epitomise what's wrong with Scottish rugby, whereas Glasgow are kind of doing their own thing. They're an hour's drive away. I just feel whatever's going on in Edinburgh reflects what's going on in Scotland as well.
I think that's a good point. The issues that Everett has, all the negative issues that you see with Scotland seem to be Edinburgh issues, and all the positives seem to be Glasgow. Yeah. Obviously not including like moments of brilliance from individual players, but a mentality thing. There is obviously Freddie Douglas again having an absolute screamer of a game against Bath, so there is like positives there for Edinburgh, but I don't know where they go from this, and I would be absolutely gutted to see Everett getting a 2-year extension if I was an Edinburgh fan. I just think as a Glasgow fan,
you're rewarding
mediocrity.
You're rewarding average performances. Yeah. You're rewarding inconsistency.
It's the same as Tooney, but it's the same issue with Tooney. You know, what was your main takeaways from the Edinburgh game then against Bath?
Edinburgh have got the injuries. They clearly do. A lot of injuries there. So they're fighting against that. But the want and desire from the players just didn't seem to be there at all. Their attack just looks so flat. Other than Harry Patterson's,
I was going to say, with him coming back, that is exactly the injection that Edinburgh need coming back from injury. He looked good, man. He looked pretty handy.
He looked sharp.
Maybe it's because he's wearing a scrum cap now.
Yeah, doing the Darcy Graham look.
Adds 10%.
Yeah, they just struggled.
Ashman's looking quite strong.
But he came off in. Hopefully his injury's all right.
I know. I really hope that he's all right. Again, wingers not really getting involved in the game. Midfield not getting the ball out. Chasing scraps. Just not really an exciting attacking brand of rugby they've got going on. So,
honestly, I don't think there's much more to say.
Mediocre performance. Kind of inevitable performance.
Positives were Harry Patterson coming back. Let's do it.
Anyway, that's us for this week. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be covering this weekend's matches against, who we got? Zebri. We'll cover the next week's pod. We'll cover Zebri. And yeah, thanks for listening. Remember to like, follow and subscribe and comment if you feel like you want to contribute anything to the pod. Thanks.